Could North Korea be the next country to attack Ukraine? A provocative question indeed, yet not entirely baseless. The world watches anxiously as the Ukraine crisis unfolds, and amidst this tension, North Korea's actions are raising eyebrows. Its recent missile tests, coupled with a conspicuous silence on Russia's invasion, paint an unsettling picture. Is this merely a coincidence, or is there more to it? Are these signs of North Korea flexing its military muscle, or are they indicative of something more sinister on the horizon? Is North Korea preparing for an unexpected move? North Korea has remained conspicuously silent on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This silence, however, is not as straightforward as it may seem, as North Korea has its own narrative on the issue. It's interesting to note that North Korea has not been entirely quiet. The North Korean Foreign Ministry has broken its silence, not to comment on Russia's actions, but to cast blame elsewhere. It accuses the West, and particularly the United States, of an abuse of power, and of enforcing a hegemonic policy against other nations. According to North Korea, the crisis in Ukraine is not a result of Russia's aggression, but of the hegemonic high-handedness of the United States and its allies. This stance by North Korea may not be surprising given its history of rejecting calls for talks on dismantling its nuclear and missile programs. The reclusive state has consistently demanded the US drop what it calls its hostile policy and double standards. In North Korea's view, the United States and its allies have ignored Russia's demands for security assurances, and it blames NATO's expansion for undermining European security. The narrative spun by North Korea is a clear reflection of its worldview. It believes that as long as the US continues its unilateral and double-dealing policy, there will never be peace in the world. This stance, while not explicitly endorsing Russia's actions, also does not condemn them. Instead, it redirects attention to what it perceives as the root cause of global instability, the actions and policies of the United States and its allies. What is clear from this is that North Korea's silence on Russia's invasion of Ukraine is not a simple lack of opinion. Rather, it is a strategic maneuver, echoing its long-standing rhetoric against Western hegemony and double standards. This silence, or rather redirection of blame, could potentially be indicative of more than just political posturing. North Korea's silence could be indicative of more than just political posturing. In the midst of global tension, North Korea has been conducting missile tests. These tests, far from being random acts of aggression, are meticulously planned and executed, reflecting the country's strategic military objectives. The tests involve short-range ballistic missiles, or SRBMs, a type of missile that's designed to deliver warheads to a target within a relatively short distance. They're fast, precise, and difficult to intercept, making them a formidable weapon in any military arsenal. North Korea's latest SRBMs are designed to be faster and more maneuverable, bearing a striking resemblance to Russia's Iskander missiles. But the similarities don't end there. North Korea, like Russia, has been developing these weapons with a clear purpose in mind. The tests suggest a pursuit of tactical nuclear weapons, a type of weapon that's smaller in size, limited in range, and designed for specific military targets. These are not the kind of weapons you use to wipe out cities or decimate entire countries. They're more precise, more controlled, and potentially more dangerous. Tactical nuclear weapons are often seen as a more usable form of nuclear weaponry, a frightening prospect in a world already bristling with nuclear tensions. They're designed to be used on the battlefield, to take out specific targets without causing widespread destruction. The fallout from these weapons, while still significant, is more localized than that of strategic nuclear weapons. North Korea's focus on these weapons and their recent tests suggest that they are preparing for a different kind of warfare, one where precision and control are paramount. These tests are not simply about flexing military muscle, they're about showcasing capabilities, demonstrating readiness, and potentially preparing for conflict. These missile tests could be a sign of North Korea's military readiness. They serve as a stark reminder that while the world's attention may be focused elsewhere, in the shadowy corners of the globe, dangerous games of power and control are being played out. It's a sobering thought, and one we would do well to keep in mind as we navigate the complex and often volatile landscape of international politics. So, what would a theoretical attack on Ukraine by North Korea look like? This is a question that might seem far-fetched, but given recent developments, it's worth exploring. Let's take a step back and look at the chessboard. On one side, we have North Korea, a nation known for its missile testing and nuclear capabilities. The Hermit Kingdom has been making strides in its missile technology, developing short-range ballistic missiles that are faster and more maneuverable. similar to Russia's Iskander missiles. These missiles are designed to confound missile defenses and have a range of up to 500 kilometers with high accuracy. On the other side, we have Ukraine, a country that has been at the receiving end of military aggression in recent years. Ukraine's defense system includes the Russian-made S-300V anti-aircraft missile system. The effectiveness of this system against North Korea's missile capabilities remains uncertain. In this hypothetical scenario, North Korea could launch a series of missile attacks targeting Ukrainian airbases and other strategic military locations. The goal would be to degrade Ukraine's defenses, making it easier for a subsequent ground invasion or to achieve political leverage. But it's not just about the missiles. North Korea's pursuit of tactical nuclear weapons adds another layer of complexity to this scenario. These weapons, smaller in size and limited in range, are designed for specific military targets. Their use could escalate the conflict to a whole new level. However, it's crucial to remember that launching an attack is not as simple as pushing a button. It involves careful planning, resources, and a willingness to face the potential repercussions from the international community. For North Korea, these repercussions could include sanctions, isolation, and potential retaliation. While this is purely speculative, the current geopolitical climate makes such scenarios worth considering. The consequences of North Korea attacking Ukraine would reverberate globally. Firstly, such a move could likely trigger a domino effect, escalating tensions and conflicts around the world. A North Korean attack on Ukraine might draw in other nations, creating a ripple effect of alliances and counterattacks. The world would be forced to bear witness to an increasingly complex web of geopolitical relationships and conflicts, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Cold War. The international community, particularly the United Nations, would undoubtedly condemn North Korea and enforce sanctions, but the effectiveness of these sanctions would be questionable. North Korea has weathered international sanctions before, and it's unclear if additional sanctions would deter them from their course. The global economy would also feel the impact. An attack of this magnitude could cause significant destabilization, leading to fluctuations in global markets and potential economic downturns. Countries heavily invested in the region, such as China, could see significant economic repercussions, which could then have a ripple effect on the global economy. But perhaps the most concerning outcome would be the potential for this conflict to escalate into a larger, more devastating war. If North Korea were to use nuclear weapons, even tactical ones, the situation could quickly spiral out of control. The use of nuclear weapons could lead to a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale, not to mention the long-term environmental impacts. However, it's important to remember that these are all hypothetical scenarios. The world is not a chessboard, and nations are not pieces to be moved at will. There are countless variables and considerations at play, and the decisions of nations are often unpredictable. Nevertheless, the possibility of North Korea attacking Ukraine reminds us of the fragile state of global politics. It underscores the need for diplomatic solutions and careful, thoughtful leadership. An attack by North Korea on Ukraine would undoubtedly reshape the global political landscape. So, could North Korea really be the next country to attack Ukraine? This question, as provocative as it may be, is rooted in a series of recent events that have stirred the global political landscape. We've discussed how North Korea has remained conspicuously silent on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This silence, coupled with an aggressive streak of missile testing, has certainly raised some eyebrows. North Korea's missile program, particularly its pursuit of short-range ballistic missiles, mirrors that of Russia's. This has led to speculation that North Korea is not only observing but also learning from Russia's tactics in Ukraine. The country's recent missile tests suggest a pursuit of tactical nuclear weapons, hinting at a potential escalation in its military ambitions. Moreover, North Korea's accusations against the West, particularly the United States, of abuse of power and enforcing a hegemonic policy against other countries reflect a deep-seated animosity. This hostility, combined with its refusal to dismantle its nuclear and missile programs, further complicates the situation. The potential global impact of an attack on Ukraine by North Korea is immeasurable. It could plunge the world into a new era of uncertainty and conflict, affecting not just Ukraine but also the delicate balance of power across the globe. While the possibility may seem remote in the current geopolitical climate, it is a scenario that cannot be dismissed outright. After all, as history has shown us, the world of politics is rife with unexpected turns and unforeseen consequences.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.